Well, can you believe this shit? Trump and them are now telling us, so let's not test unless it would fundamentally change how you're going to treat it. Because we're running out of tests, we're running out of PPE, just like everybody say, even though they say, oh yeah, we've got it enough, we've got it under control. They didn't have it under control. They haven't got it anywhere near under control. Okay, oh yeah, if it's in the system, we got the orders. No, it's not in the system. They don't have the orders. They're way behind, and they're lying on top of lying on top of lying. And they want us to stop testing as often because they know the numbers are going way up because we're finally testing to any sort of degree. Okay, and it's going to scare people, and it should scare people. It should have everybody freaked out. Okay, it's supposed to. It's ridiculous that they're trying to continue to downplay this. Okay, here's the thing. Oh, don't use the test, unless it's fundamentally going to change how you're treating it. Well, quarantine fundamentally changes how you treat it. If you know you have the disease, okay, even though it's mild and no, they're not going to treat it because, they're not really going to do anything, what you can do is not give it to your grandma and not give it to your great grandma and not give it to the guy at the store. Okay? Because you know you have it. It's not maybe you have it, maybe it's your allergies, and so it's okay for you to run down to the store. You're not putting anybody at risk. No. Okay? The difference is, okay, now you know you have it. Okay, so you're self quarantining inside your house. Maybe you're quarantining yourself away from your relatives. And so your relatives who don't have it can go to the store for you and drop the stuff off for you. And therefore, you're not exposing more people. Okay? This is how you protect your relatives. Okay, is if you do have symptoms, even if they are mild, you need to be tested because that's when you're still spreading it. If we're going to lower the curve, we cannot suddenly decide we're testing too much. What? Are we going to lower the curve too much for you people? I don't think we are. Okay, we're on par to be worse than Italy. Okay, percentage wise. Okay, remember, we are at the same numbers as them. All right, same numbers. We're above their numbers day by day. All right, and we're 4 times the size of them. Okay, 4 times the size. So as things go up exponentially, especially if we're going to stop being as careful as we have been, if we're going to say, oh, maybe we shouldn't test everybody that possibly has it, that curve is not going to be flattened. We're going to be putting washboard ridges in the damn curve. Do we really want a whole bunch of peaks and valleys to keep us scared all fucking for the next 3 years? No, let's flatten this fucking curve. I just can't believe that they're back. Now that it's being proved that they don't have enough tests, it's going to be like, oh well, maybe you shouldn't be tested if it's mild. Damn it! That's more of the same, folks. That's just as much as, oh, let's don't test anybody unless they're dying. That'll skew our numbers, right? It'll make it look much more deadly. The more people you test, the more you can prove to the people in this country that it's not deadly to everybody. Okay? If you can show that 80, 95, 96, 98% of the people that have this are getting nothing, or aren't being hurt by it at all, then you will lower the panic quite a bit. But stopping testing now, oh my God, is ridiculous. Oh God, I guess I started right into my rant without talking about how this is my day 3 or day 4, post 3, something like that, for the quarantine pandemic, from Barbarial here, barbaryallen.wordpress.com, or my main site, which Barbary Allen is more of a news feed. I share articles I've read and think are interesting and pertinent, and maybe interesting to you. But the main one is wildandwoollywordsmith.com. That's my main site. That's where you're going to find this post. It's going to be is wildandwoollywordsmith.com. But anyway, so back to pandemic. Kids are running around outside. Again, kid got his brand new cast, so everything's good in that department. Doing laundry. cleaning up, doing a little spring cleaning. Got some time. Like I say, for my wife and I, our life isn't changing that much, you know, other than the awareness and the stress of knowing that this, this isn't just our boring life, that this is everybody's having to put up with our boring life. I can imagine a lot of parents are starting to go really nuts with their kids at home, trying to homeschool them. We've been homeschooling for a while, and I know I get to that where I've been hey dadded. Hey dad, hey dad, hey dad, what's this? Hey dad, what's this? You get halfway through finishing one kid's question, and both other kids have a hey dad for you, and eventually you start to drown in hey dads, especially if you haven't eaten or you're feeling cranky. It's been a long day. But just remember, when you're getting those hey dads and they're driving you crazy, and all you want to do is try and finish reading the paper, or all you're trying to do is finish these dishes, or put this away, or get you to do your math, or get you to read a book, get you to pick up your clothes, get a chance to go to the bathroom without having, with the door closed and nobody coming in. When the hey dads are driving you to your insanity, just remember, the day's going to come when they're going to quit saying hey dad, when they're going to quit coming to you for advice. And you're really going to miss it then. You're really going to miss it then. So, it's going to get stressful having your kids under feet all day, and you're going to find out that perhaps those teachers weren't exaggerating, that your kid really is a handful, or maybe a downright asshole at moments. But he's still your kid, you still love him, and just remember, when they hey dad you to death, you're going to miss them. You're going to miss those hey dads if for some reason they quit happening. When they get too old to ask you why that particular plant is purple, or why Spanish has extra letters, or any number of whatever other questions they have that you feel like it's just not the right time to have to answer them, and maybe it isn't the right time, and maybe you have to tell them you got to answer them later, but don't discourage the hey dadding. You don't want that to stop. Maybe you just want them to be willing to wait for an answer. I don't know, but I just know that I sure miss hey dad and my dad. And I'm sure when we had our rough patches, he missed me, hey dad and him. So, that's my thought for you guys that are going to have kids underfoot and you're not used to it. Just remember, someday that annoying kid is not going to be under your feet at all anymore. And you're going to miss it. So maybe take this little pandemic as a blessing and go play catch. Go for a walk. Go for a hike. Sit and read. Just take a nap. Just be. And bite your tongue when you want to yell at them for hey dad. I promise I'll try and do the same for mine. This is Alan, your wild and woolly wordsmith, out on 321, 322? I'm sure the timestamp will say.